Hi, I'm Owen Casey Stevens, and this is a story of why John broke into our house and locked us out of it. And it's worth noting that this is the same John from the story of why John bought us a microwave, which I have linked in the comments. So this is the very first house that my wife LJ and I owned, and it is worth noting before I do the full story that this house was quirky. The house had been used by a family friend, by their grandmother, to have a little business where she did hair salon things. And she had had that business as one section of her house and lived in the other section of her house. And as a result, this house had two front doors. She had also converted her back porch to be a fully enclosed area. So she had two back doors, one to get into the back room of the house, and one to get out of that. It also had a detached garage, which had doors on two sides of it. So even the garage had two front doors. So there were a total of 6 exterior doors involved with this house. And because she had wanted some people to be able to get into the salon, but not the rest of the house, some people to be able to get into the house, but not into the garage, some people to get into the garage, but not get into the back of the house, these pretty much all had different keys. So when we bought the house, we were given this huge ring of keys and told, look, this one is for the front door on the left, this one is for the front door on the right, and we don't know what the rest of them go to. So we were working that out, and we had an open house, and we showed it to our friends, and we were very, very proud. It was our very first house, and I'll note that that house cost less than our current car cost us. It was significantly cheaper than any house we've been in since, but it was a nice little house. In addition to having 2 living rooms, one of which had used to be a salon, it had 1.5 bathrooms. One of the big bathrooms was also the laundry room. It had a kitchen. It had a weird back porch area. We enjoyed it quite a bit. But we mentioned to several of our friends that one of the things we were planning on doing is rekeying the house, because it was just annoying to have a big bundle of keys if you wanted to go into the left, or you wanted to go into the right, or you wanted to get into the garage, or you wanted to get into the back, and you had locked both back doors for some reason, which I don't think we ever did. But the point was, we really wanted there to be one key for the whole house. And our friend John, upon hearing this, thought, oh, well, I want to get them a housewarming gift. I can rekey their house. Now, I think most of us, if we thought, hey, I can arrange to have their house rekeyed, would go to the people in question and say, I know that you want to rekey your house. I know that you guys are busy. I want to get you a housewarming gift. Let me do this for you. We'll set up a time, and I'll be the person to sit there, and I will wait for the locksmith, and I will take care of everything. And that's not the way John handled it. John wanted it to be a surprise that he had changed all the locks on our house. So John found out our schedule, which was not a big deal. He's a good friend of ours. He's someone we perfectly well had given a key to our apartment before. So I understand why he felt like this was not incredibly creepy. And then when we were out for a long period of time, he called a locksmith over. And he told the locksmith that he needed to rekey the entire house. And to hear John tell it, the locksmith just shrugged and said, okay, and then broke into the house, which is easy to do if you're a locksmith, and took out all of the locks and put in new locks on everything and had them all set to one key. Fine. And then the locksmith left. And then LJ and I came home, and we went to one front door, and we tried to open it, and it wouldn't open. And we tried the key, and we realized maybe we had the wrong key, and we tried key after key after key. While we were doing this, John apparently was sitting in the other living room, but you can't really hear one front door from the other front room. So we had no idea that we were sitting there with groceries in our hands while it was raining in the section of the porch that doesn't have an overhang, trying to get in, because that's the one that goes most directly to the kitchen. So we gave up pretty quickly, and we moved to the other front door, and we still couldn't get in. And we're ringing, and we're rattling, and we're trying to get in, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And this was pretty early, so we were beginning to have thoughts like, has the house been repossessed? Did we buy it from people that didn't actually own it? Has there been some sort of problem with one of our house payments, and they've booted our house, like you boot a car when you can't make a payment? And then John opens our front door from the inside, has a big old grin on his face, and says, surprise! Yes, John, you're in my house that I can't get in. This is a surprise. And then John grabbed some groceries from us and took them to the kitchen, and he was all smiling. And I think John thought it would be intuitively obvious what had happened. And we were kind of totally flabbergasted because not only do we not know why we couldn't get into our house, we don't know why John could and why he locked the door behind him. And at least briefly, I was worrying, did we lock John into our house? Like a cat that you accidentally lock into a closet? Has he been stuck here for a day and a half and we didn't notice and we just left and the poor guy's been desperately waiting for us to get back? But no, of course, John explained that this is his big housewarming gift. He broke into our house and locked us out of it by changing all the locks, and the locksmith never asked if he lived there or why he wanted someone else to change the locks on every lock in the house. So we did thank John. It was a very thoughtful gift. They were weird thoughts, but it was full of those weird thoughts. And we did actually, in the long run, appreciate it because now we had a small set of keys. And although we did briefly, hushedly debate it, we did, in fact, give John one of those keys. So it was a wonderful gift in the long run. It was just both very, very creepy and weird in the moment, and it's made me think ever since, is every house I own just waiting for someone to come by and say, hey, change all the locks? I don't live here. I don't have any of the keys. I have no proof I have the authority to do this, but just go ahead and make it easier for only the people I want to get into this other person's house, will you?